Okay, let's have a look at the answers to these puzzles. First let's tackle the easy one. And it's white to play and mate in 1. Computer, can you light up the squares around the black king, please? Thank you. Now are any of these squares safe for the black king? Well, the queen covers most of the squares, leaving e6 as the only safe escape square. With the queen very busy, can we find another piece to give checkmate? This bishop check certainly covers the e6 escape square, but the black queen would simply take the bishop. Are there any other possibilities? Did you spot this knight check? It covers the e6 escape square too. The medium puzzle is mate in 3 for white. The black king is stuck in the corner. White's queen would like to move to one of these highlighted squares, where it would be defended by the white rook. But the black rook defends g8, and the black bishop defends g7. So should white focus the attack on g7 or g8? Which square looks best? We need to count up the number of attackers and defenders. White has 2 pieces lined up on g8, but black has 3 pieces, and the king, so it looks like black is in control of g8. But what about g7? This time white has 3 attackers, but black only has 2 defenders, so an attack on g7 is likely to be white's best option. Bishop first, and if black takes with the bishop, white will take back with the queen to give checkmate. Black has only one other option. Move the king to g8. g8 would be safe with the white bishop on g7 in the way of the queen, and that's a clue for white's next move. White could move the bishop out of the way of the queen to give discovered check. But where? Moving back to h6 would be a bit silly, so the first square to consider is f6. Then what would black have to do? Black would have to move the king to f8, and then how could white finish the game? With black's bishop gone, white has complete control of g7, and with the black king now in the way of the queen and rooks, white has control of g8 too, and with the white bishop covering e7, white can choose which of these 2 squares to move the queen. The hard puzzle is another mate in 3 for white, and the white knight is keeping the black king stuck in the corner, and white's pawn is nearly at the end of the board, but black has 2 pieces defending the queening square, and white has only 1 piece supporting the pawn. So if white promotes the pawn, it won't be safe. But why else might white want to move the pawn forward? With the pawn out of the way, the original white queen can move to f6. Can you see just how dangerous this move would be? Whenever a piece is moved, you also need to think about the lines that are open for other pieces. Now white is threatening 2 dangerous moves, moving the original queen to f6, and taking black's queen with the new queen. How can black sort this problem out? There are 3 ways to stop queen takes queen checkmate. Take the new white queen, or move the rook to defend the queen. Let's go through each of them. The black queen is pinned, so black will have to block check with the rook.